I'm sitting out in front of my garage looking right down the barrel of another one of my, I guess you would call it a project. It obviously needs a few things, but this is a running driving drag car, a 1967 Dodge Dart. This engine lived in my Charger for a while, and I drag raced that car. But I had the opportunity to buy this car about 4 years ago, so I did. I took this Indy motor that I'd been beating my Charger up with, and the 727 torque flight transmission, and put those both into this car and went drag racing again. It is in need of some body work and some paint. That's mostly why it's a project. Of course, I have some things I need to do to fix, you know, on it to improve it and make it a little bit better. Plus, it's dirty. Need to get a cover on it when it hangs out. You can see it is in a couple of different primers, which is always awesome. Getting ready to charge the battery up a little bit so I can fire it up. Does have a fiberglass trunk lid, does have a fiberglass hood. I'm not really loving the hood. We can talk more about that later, but it is a pretty awesome car. It's got some serious tire under it. In case you're wondering, a 33/15 on a 15-inch wheel. But traction should never be an issue. It does have a Dana 60 in the back. The reason behind this is because there's a small 1/8 mile track in outside of Idaho Falls. And since I haven't raced in a few months, and that's probably the easiest track for me to get to, I'm gonna try and go make some runs. So we're gonna check some things out, make sure all is well. Pump was a little noisy, but it does look like things are flowing, functioning well there. Oil's good, there's transmission fluid. is a runner. Looks good, sounds good, vitals are good. So all in all, I do like what I see so far. Everything looks good. No issues are standing out. So at this point, it's kind of a get a few things put together, get my tools assembled, get the tires all topped off and checked, fill my air tank, clean it. Yeah, it needs to be washed off. Something fierce, even though it's ratty. But that's how I like some. I like some ratty. But if you didn't know by my charger videos, hey charger, there she is waiting to get that electric fan put in. And there's a brand new dipstick for the transmission. Here's my even rattier Valiant. This poor car. The 66 was a slant 6 car. That is long gone. The 7 1/4 is long gone. It's just waiting me to get down my list a little bit. It's got some body issues. Actually, underneath it's got a lot of body issues, but I need to get in here and finish the frame, the spring relocation kit. Started that years ago, and then, you know, life. Car was parked even longer, and been just waiting for me to do it a solid. That's my Valiant. I am hoping to do some things with this here on the channel in the near future. Really like to make a ratty street cruiser out of this. Maybe late model Hemi, this one. And then this guy, my 72 Plymouth Duster. If you can't tell, this is a drag car in the making. It's a complete chassis, a Chris Alston's Chassis Works chassis, and got big block power planned for it. So it ought to run, but to be able to run, you see there is a lot of work that has to happen first. Anyway, another car we do hope to feature a little bit on the channel as time goes on. And I am kind of a Tonka nerd as well. And I feature a little bit of that from time to time. Hope to do a little bit more. So while this car is a little bit ratty, we're gonna still have fun with it. The timing was crazy though. 2018, we knew our track was closing. And I thought that was a great time to buy a drag car, right? Yeah. So I raced maybe twice a year. I think I've gone 3 times 1 year since then. But I have to travel. There's no close track. We've got this little 1/8 mile in Idaho Falls. We've got Grand Junction, Boise, Vegas. Evanston has a pretty cool little track that's kind of an up-and-comer. All in all, the timing is horrible. But I love drag racing enough, it's still worth it to go a couple of times a year. And so that's the motivation for this video, is to get things kind of ready to go. Here's the hood I don't love. It is fiberglass, but there's a lot of fiberglass, so it is still semi-heavy. The thing I don't like about it though is, I mean, that scoop is a monster, and it does play a little havoc for a guy when he's in the left-hand lane and driving around a pit where there's lots of people. You got to be on your guard. So my thought is probably shorten it a little bit. That'll take a significant amount of fiberglass work. Or, you know, if I can cut it off and maybe put a Hemi Dart scoop on it, I think it's kind of where I'm at. Although, if you have a fiberglass hood with a Hemi scoop on it and you like this one and you want to trade me, we can make that deal. So part of a successful racing adventure, I need to have the pit bike going. And the pit bike is an E-ton Beamer. I have no idea what that's all about. So thank goodness there's a nice Mopar sticker on it, so it can be a Mopar bike, and that's fine. This little bike though has been so freaking awesome for the racetrack. It's not without its issues, and that's definitely the case right now. It does run, it does drive, but it has a fuel leak that I have to fix. So I'm going to do that. Apparently I have a distressed kitty. What's going on, distressed kitty? This is Kuda. So this is where we've been hanging out. Down there you see the carburetor. Replaced the fuel line up to this point. Got to add the filter back in. Okay, all back together. Fuel line hooked up, fuel line in place, routed. Naturally, the battery is dead. Okay, I'm gonna charge that up. I'll be back. Had it jumped. I didn't stay running long enough. But I forgot it does have a kickstart. I guess forget's not really the right word. I didn't really want to use it. Sounds good. Looks good. I don't see any fuel leaking anywhere. So we're going to call that good. The pit bike is ready. Well, it's Friday night. Just got through loading the car. So we are going. We are racing. But we're gonna get up early, get on the road and head north. Looks like we got about 3 hours in front of us to a little track just west of Idaho Falls called Sage Raceway. So we've been there once before. We got a little bit of a story there, but we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. See you in the AM.